From one Indian to another, some of y'all totally deserve the racism that you experience.
Why is Indian hate so normalized? If this was any other ethnicity, it would have been all over the news outlets and social media.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode, we are going to be reacting to videos we put together for you of how Indians abroad are complaining about being treated and how other races are being racist towards them.
Yeah, and this is why we usually say, guys, before you start removing a speck in other races, you should look within your community. See how you're treating each other before you start crying foul on other races.
Right, guys, let's keep in mind that the Indians are the same group of people who discriminate against the dark people in their community and also extend the same treatment to other races that have dark or melanated skin, right?
Yeah, and with all this being said, guys, do we discount their experiences? No, let's just watch this video, them explaining how they've faced racism, and then we come back and talk about it.
From one Indian to another, some of y'all totally deserve the racism that you experience. Do you know the number of times I've seen an Indian in Japan out in public and I smile at them and they look away? Or they just stare at me and give me the stink eye as if I've just assaulted them or something. Why do you feel compelled to be unpleasant to other people of your own race, but then expect other races to treat you properly? Because these are the same people that will literally bend over backwards and give all smiles and pleasantries to a white person. I just know that they're the same people. And to be honest, it's generally most Asians who do this, right? One time I went out to eat and we were waiting in line with one of my friends, and there was this Singaporean lady and her daughter in line, and I could very obviously tell that she's Singaporean because of her accent. Anyway, she starts a conversation with my friend who's a white American, and obviously she's born and bred in America now. She doesn't have even a single bit of Singaporeanness in her voice. And my friend's pretty much telling her about the program we're in. She's like, yeah, we're Jets, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, oh, I'm from Singapore. And my friend is like, no way, my friend is Singaporean. This lady looks at me, she goes, oh, okay, and continues talking to my friend as if she, I don't exist. And then she proceeds to say, oh my god, you have to tell me all about how you got to Japan because my daughter really wants to move to Japan. I applied through the Japanese embassy in Singapore as a Singaporean. If anything, you should be asking me. But you're pretending that I don't exist and actively engaging the white person. Why? This is literally why we got colonized. This is exactly why. It pisses me off. If you are a brown person and you see another brown person, it should just be code that you talk to them, right? And this Singaporean lady was Chinese, and look, Chinese Singaporeans were not very good to me on a good day in Singapore, so I don't expect them to be good to me in a foreign country. But as a brown person, where is your dignity? This shit with worshipping white people happens in my own family. That's the most disappointing thing. It happens with my extended family, not my parents, thank God, but my cousins and my aunts and uncles and stuff. It's honestly so disgusting. It's oh my god, where's your vekkom mana sudusone?
People who say there is no racism in Canada, let me tell you a story. So on one summer day, me and my friends decided that we're gonna go for a swim. We decided the place, it was Portia Cove. We went there, we were so happy. It was perfect summer day. The water was warm. We went to the washroom to change ourselves and we were talking to each other in Punjabi. That's my language. So we were talking to each other this is so perfect, this is so nice. And as we were talking, I heard a voice coming from another washroom. She's like, shut the fuck up. Why are you speaking your own gibberish language? Why are you not speaking in English? This is fucking Canada, speak in English. I'm like, excuse me? Who the fuck are you? We were in shock. Me and my friends, we were in disbelief. This is Canada. How this thing is happening to us? And I'm like, okay. And she's obviously, she's blah, 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 blah. I'm like, lady, you know what? Shut the fuck up. I'll meet you outside. I'm not gonna let it pass, because what if this thing happens to my parents and my grandparents and I'm not there? No, I'm gonna teach them lesson. So we went outside. So there was grandmother, mother and daughter. So all three ladies. And we went close to them and they were visibly drunk. But I thought, no. Being drunk doesn't give you an excuse to being racist. Me and my friends were like, okay, you know what? What were you saying in the washroom? She's like, yes, you heard it right, you bitch. This is Canada speaking English. This is our country. And I'm like, okay, let me stop you right there. You bitch, this is not your country. Let me give you a history lesson. This is not your country. This land was stolen from indigenous people by your fucking ancestors. We're like, you don't get to say that. You bitch, you don't get to say that. No, because this land was stolen and the language they speak is not English. So you should either speak that language or you shouldn't talk to us about speaking English. You better watch your mouth. And she's like, you Indian people, you dirty, you come here, you ruin our country. And I'm like, we Indian people are the backbone of this country. Not even Indian, all brown people are the backbone of this country. And they were like, this is our area, we're gonna call some guys and we'll beat you up. And I'm like, oh, you try it. Because we are not moving from here. The only people that are moving from here are you three. And they started coming to our faces. They're like, we'll beat you, we'll beat you. And I'm like, yeah, we might not be physically strong right now, but we have rage inside. We have rage, you try it. And we started swearing in Punjabi. And they're like, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. I'm like, that's the whole fucking point, you bitch. You only know English. We know 3 fucking languages. You shut the fuck up and move from here. Then people started gathering. Some people were filming. Nobody was helping. And then they took off. I still can't believe.
This is a message to Aiden Ross regarding what he said on stream about Indians. Why is Indian hate so normalized? If this was any other ethnicity, it would have been all over the news outlets and social media. Streamers like these do not deserve a platform. Aiden Ross, all of your viewers are children. You should be a role model, not a bad influence. And for all the people that think it's funny or cool to be racist towards Indians, I don't blame you, I blame your parents, because clearly they've done a poor job of raising you. This isn't the first time Aiden has been racist. Let's not forget when he sided with Israel over Palestine. Indian hate needs to stop, and like I said, we will not stand for it. It only takes a comment to stand up. So if you're watching this, comment #standup so we can stop the Indian hate.
The amount of comments I'm seeing from people in the UK specifically saying, we don't come to India and mess things up for you.
So why do you do it to us?
No, not because of this attitude, because you know exactly why. Tim Hortons, McDonald's, Walmart, I know exactly what's going on. Why are you
Was there a point of time in your life when you thought that I need to bleach my skin or whiten my skin?
Yeah, I thought many times.
No, Indians were not supposed to be fairer. India receives more than 250 sunny days. So vitamin D is directly absorbed by skin, hence more melanin content, hence the darker skin.
There was time when I was a teenage girl, I could see people who, like girls who were fairer than me, you know, they were treated in a different way. You could see the school teachers or everyone as like, oh, she's so cute, she's so pretty. So that time we feel, okay, I want to be that person.
I've been bullied for my skin tone, and that too by my teachers. Yeah, one of my teacher bullied me. I mean, I was in like class 3rd or 4th. I was just a child. I don't know that I have a dark tone and all.
My friends who are like a little darker than me, they sometimes feel that, you know, still that I should put tomato on my skin and this on my skin to become fair. So their self-confidence has been really affected.
So guys, welcome back. Let me just first start by addressing the first lady who was in green, and she speaks of an encounter she had with her fellow person from the same race, from the same country, but she had a white friend, and this person was giving the white friend the importance, you know. I feel like in that situation, it's not right, but I feel like in that situation, you know, you don't have to force issues or force yourself where you're not needed. Wanted or needed. Clearly, that lady didn't want to even acknowledge her presence in the room, right? She was interested in only talking to the palm-colored friend that was with her, right? Yeah, I feel like at that point, she was in a position to help the other one, but because she ignored her because of her color and went on to speak with the palm-colored girl, leave her to her destiny. Let her suffer with her questions, right? You don't need to offer help where clearly it's not needed coming from you. Yeah, and you know, psychologically, when this other lady decided to speak to the palm-colored person, yeah, of course it bothered her. It bothered her because, you know, this is the kind of treatment this lady in green usually goes through. Maybe when she sees a white person, she clearly sees how the white person gets all the preferable treatment that she would want to get, but it's passed on to the white lady. So you ask yourself, how do melanated people normally feel, especially in predominantly black communities, let's say Africa, because there's a lot of India, even in South Africa, there's a lot of Indians. So when Indians do this to Africans a lot, right?
like, should you ever ask yourself, which I know you don't, but should you ever ask yourself how they feel when you pass that kind of treatment to them? I guess now that is how you found out that is how melanated people feel.
Yeah, and the second lady, the Canadian one, I feel like she was karma to the white people, and I feel like she knows how to handle her own business, and I feel like she handled it very, very well.
Right. And there's a lady who was talking about how it has been so normalized, racism against Indian people has been so normalized and it's bothering her. So guys, my question today is, how do you expect a certain type of treatment when, you know, for people to respect you? I feel it has to start within, right?
You have to respect yourself and people like you first.
Right. And if dark-skinned Indians are still going through a situation where they're really being discriminated against by their own people, and then if, let's say, you're born light in India, we've seen videos of this, right, where they say they're not allowed to go out in the sun because they don't want them to get darker. So it's like, for them, they don't want to recognize the melanated part of their own community, all right? And so what would you call yourself? Because you're brown, you're not white, but you also don't want to be like recognized as brown or dark Indians. Exactly. So what would you want to call yourself? White. Clearly they've shown you are not one of them, but you still want to be part of them.
And I feel like of course it will take a long time for such issues to be addressed and eventually fixed, because you know we are human at the end of the day. It can never be fixed.
That's the system, and that is how it was designed.
But can it get better? Of course it can. So my personal opinion, I feel like until Indians start addressing these problems within their own community, other people will just see them as a joke. You know,
you can't,
which is unfair of me to say, but this brown, the very light Indians, they treat dark Indians very, very bad. And the same light Indians, when they go to white, predominantly white places, it's obvious how brown they are and how white they are not. And so if they start facing the same kind of treatment the dark Indians are facing, but in foreign places, at least now they have an understanding of what they put the dark Indians through. Generally my take from this video is of course they can get
fix your community first
before you tell people to, because it's known worldwide that Black Indians are not accepted in India. Even their own movie industry, the Bollywood industry, it doesn't really have any kind of representation of Black Indians.
Yeah, so that is all. Just fix your community before you tell other communities how to
understand how you're feeling. Yet they know you treat other people less than.
Anyway guys, I think we'll leave it at that. Let us know what you think about this episode. We'd really like to hear from you,
and we'll see you on our next episode. But please remember to subscribe if you're new to this channel.